Welcome, welcome, welcome to another week of Carbonite Collectibles. As always, I am your host, KyberForged, and with me are my fellow co-hosts here, Star Wars Nerd. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good.
And with me right below here, we got WrathofMandolore. How are you doing, sir?
Chilling, man. Chilling.
And then we got our special guest tonight. I met this dude at the National, has some dope sketch cards, does some great art. Wrath, you'll love his stuff. He does some fantastic Mandalorians. We have Adam Perler. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. But you guys all have like really cool names sitting here with my name. But on Whatnot, I'm actually Rebel Relics. So
Rebel Relics. We'll go with that one. That sounds cooler.
Yeah.
But and excuse, he is more than welcome everybody to move around as much as you want. The man has just had back surgery, so he's going to have to move around a little bit. So
possibly, I'll try to hang in there. You know,
he's
Mandalore,
operating under stress just to be here for you guys tonight. So
this is the way. Yeah.
Nice.
And welcome, Obi Sean. How are you doing, buddy?
Hello there.
Oh, Mr. Sean Kenobi.
So how's you guys' weeks going? Everybody have a decent week?
It's been a week.
That is optimistic already.
I've mentally quit my job like 4 times, so that tells you how it's going.
Yeah, I mean, my week's going a lot better than last week was. I had COVID for about 5 days, so
dang.
Now that I'm able to leave the house, it's been a little bit better. But hours at work and stuff, life can be rough, but it could be a lot worse. I'm alive. I'm here. I'm talking with my friends.
So it matters.
Yep.
And then Obi Sean can relate. His sister had back surgery a few years ago, but he's saying he's doing quite well.
Oh, that's awesome.
So how are you doing, Adam? How's everything going, man?
I'm doing good. Yeah, just adjusting to the life as an artist, because this is all relatively new for me. I think you heard that at trade night.
Yep. Yeah, that was great news. I was so happy to hear that you got chosen now to be able to work with Topps and everything. That is so cool.
Yeah, so I'm actually working on my first official set. I committed to 50 cards and I have 40 completed so far. So I'm wrapping that up, and then I have a whole another box of 50 cards waiting for me to finish this first set.
Busy man.
But it's a I can't say anything what it is, but I'll just say it's a fancier set. So I have a little bit of time between. So I got some new toys that I want to play with. One of them being an airbrush. Some of the artists talked me into getting it. So I'm going to play around with that a little bit before I jump into that next set, because I have a little bit of time, and that will allow my back to recover a little as well. So
yeah, airbrushes are fun, man. I dabble in a little bit of Gunpla, a little Gundam on the side.
Ooh.
So I had an airbrush before it got stolen. And it was fun, man. I think that thing puts in work, and you can do so much with it. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's funny because the trade night, were all you guys there, or just one?
No,
Just
it
me.
was just him.
Just Kyber.
Yeah.
I'm going to get these guys out one year.
Yeah, I mean, so this year we had 125 people and we had 15 artists, and it started out toys kind of, yeah, he put it out there that he was doing, he said that he was doing this and he was looking for some artists. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm new at this, but I'd be happy to do something. I mean, I had plenty of practice cards I'd worked on. So I was one of the first ones to commit. And then all of a sudden we get Josh Trout and Angel. I'm like, what is happening? Like, these are all the people that, we're all chasing, and they're all like having booths next to me. And I've become friends with Cyrus Shurkrat. And then Don Murphy.
Cool, yeah.
So I invited both of them, and they came, and then I don't know what happened. Like we've been all on, we have a Facebook chat group. It's like Dead Poet Society. We talk almost every day. And next year we're pushing it to 250 people. And Toys decided that he wanted to have 25 artists. And now we have like Chris Pinnock and Craig Deeks and Cisco Rivera and Jay Manchand and Tracy Easterday.
Yeah.
It's just so cool to see. And the artists have all just been chatting. Like I said, it's almost daily. And Ian McKesson cracks us up almost every day.
He's been on before.
he's a trickster.
He's a hoot.
He cracked us up too.
Yeah,
we've had a few people from Trade Night that have been on. Just actually a couple of weeks ago, we had Matthew on for Trade Night. And
Madonna.
What's the last name? Pronounce it right this time.
Say it right, Kyber.
I screwed up his name right away.
Is it Maldonado or Maldonado?
Maldonado.
Yes.
Maldonado, yeah.
And he proceeded to tell us the most amazing story about how the principal on his first day of high school called him Matt Moldy Dildo. And we just laughed for the next hour.
Oh my God. Moldy Dildo. Wow.
Yeah.
And I was crying laughing by the end.
Yeah.
Yes,
I don't think I have any real funny stories.
Guys on.
Yeah, I mean, some of my funny stories are definitely not art related. But I think I'm a foot and ankle surgeon, and when I came out of residency, I did a small fellowship in Russia, and it was in Kurgan, which is like Siberia, basically. Yeah, just Siberia.
Fuck nowhere.
Yeah, and it was one of the first time I went, it was for like the short, like 10-day course, and I went back and did a fellowship. But the 10-day course, apparently the Russians are very proud of their vodka, and they love to get the American doctors completely drunk and then see how many of us they can knock out for the next day when we go to have our first day in surgery. And there were 12 of us, and I'll just say that I was one of the 5 that actually made it the next day to surgery, and they were so proud of that. Yeah, I was a trooper. But that night, what's that movie in Vegas where the guys are trying to piece together everything, like what happened?
Hangover.
Yes, that is almost identical to the night that happened that night. Like there were so many mysteries that we had to solve throughout that whole week we were there. Like some guy's coat went missing and he thought he sold it. And his wife had just bought it for him, and it was like a 2nd-year anniversary gift. He's like, oh my God, she's going to kill me. And then at the end of the week, it turns out that he just never got out of the coat check. But then he couldn't figure out how he ended up with all these extra rubles in his pocket. And it turns out that the nightclub that we were at, where they hosted that first dinner where they basically got us all trashed, was actually a casino. And then he kind of remembered going to the bathroom and the room spun and he was in the casino, and then that's how he won the rubles. So he didn't actually sell his jacket, but there was like that's just scratching the surface of what happened that night. But anyhow, that's one of my crazy stories, but it has nothing to do with art.
Hey, we love
that's
all
like a full on like piecing together a mystery. Like,
yeah, it was. I mean, it was actually very funny, and I've told a few people the story. It takes several minutes to get through the whole thing, but it's hysterical. But I'll just say that 5 doctors ended up making it. Actually, 8 of us made it to breakfast, and 3 of them like pretty much barfed right at the table on command. So that knocked them out, and 5 of us made it. But
good Lord.
Anyhow,
it's the weird thing about like having a hangover and breakfast food. It's either the best thing in the world or the worst thing in the world. You're going to discover as soon as you smell the eggs where you stand for the rest of the day.
100%. Yeah. I mean, like so we, just to tell you how it started, we all get there and then they say, oh, we're doing this like introduction dinner. And so the hospital, have you guys ever seen like people that walk around that have those rings around their legs and they have pins going through their leg?
Yep.
Or the halo around the head with the pin.
Yep.
So
yep.
That is called external fixation. And the godfather of external fixation is this guy, Vladimir Ilizarov. And he's the one that figured this out. And it was really because they had all these people that were injured in World War, it would have been World War II, that had these open fractures and they had no idea how to treat them, because usually you'd put like hardware inside, but you can't do that when you have an open wound. Yep. So he looked at a wagon wheel and saw like, how does this like flimsy piece of steel hold the weight of a wagon? And it's the way you do it is you have the spokes and then you have the center hub. So he envisioned that center hub being a leg, and then the spokes were these wires, and the ring is this ring around. And you can make the leg above and below the fracture stiff, so it bypasses the fracture, and you can treat fractures that are open without putting hardware. So he figured that out, and then the next thing you know, he started to claim that he could correct deformities doing the same method. And it's almost like children that their bones grow. He found a way to fracture the bone, put this device on, and treat it like a growth plate, and he can dial out deformities and fix things that nobody in the world could fix. And that's how he got started on it. It was kind of an accident. Anyhow, that's where I went to train. That the hospital
Actually,
where
fixed my knee when I was in high school.
Is it really?
Yeah, because they my kneecap was like a really bad floating kneecap. So when it moved, like every ligament, it was just there to be hit and torn apart.
Yeah.
So they had to basically break my leg to reset it into the right place, and then they screwed it back together. So I got 2 giant screws in my left leg to like put it back into the right place.
Did they use one of those fixators?
That's how they stabilized it till everything was healed, right? So it just kind of sit in one of those for like a couple weeks.
Yeah, so that was the hospital I actually trained at in Russia. And when I went, the guy, Ilazarov had passed away, so I was under the very first person that took over for him. And so we go there, and they bring us all into this like big dining room. And before we come up the stairs, they make us all do a shot of vodka, and it's like the shot that breaks the silence. And then we sat down at this big like U-shaped table, and they put like an American doctor and a Russian doctor and an American doctor like all the way around. And then the professor, his name was Shetsov. He was the one that took over for Lizarov. He said, "Oh, in Russian tradition, we do a toast and we say why we're going to be here and what we're going to learn, and I'll start." So he starts, and I'm like looking around the room, and I count like 23 people. I'm like, oh my God, how's this going to work? So the guy next to me, he'd been there before, and I had 3 glasses in front of me. He's like, "All right, listen to me. Do the first shot, and that glass next to your shot glass has water in it. Take your shot, and then take your water and spill the water into it." And I was like, okay. So that way, when the waiters come by, they can't put as much vodka in it. So I started to do that. And so I was okay by the end of the night. I mean, I still felt it, but all the people around me did not get that same message.
See, I didn't get that lucky. I managed a hockey team in upstate New York for club team for about a year and a half. First interaction I had, we had 4 Russian kids on the team, right? And so, like you said, they like to trick people into taking as many shots as possible. So you agreed to taking a shot at dinner. So what they did was there was 12 seniors graduating, and so we didn't know that we were taking a shot for each and every single player that was graduating. We thought we were taking 4 shots max. And they took us out to this Russian restaurant. We're sitting there, and it's like every time they toasted another senior and listed their accolades and all that stuff, shot. Yeah. And I mean, this is like.
Do you remember the word? Did they say Nostrovia when they did it?
Nostrovia, yeah.
Nostrovia.
Yeah. A lot of suka bliets. That was a lot of slang that I picked up from those wonderful gentlemen. But yeah, they tricked. I mean, one kid was doing. He agreed. They had tricked him into a bet that he would do 2 shots for every one. So he was gone. He was absolutely gone. Yeah. He missed the senior game because he was so drunk from the night before. But the Russians, the next day, they were up early in the morning, first people on the ice, just skating around like nothing happened.
Yeah, it was a big eye opener because we would do, when I went back for my fellowship, we would do cases, and between cases, we'd go into like this doctor's lounge, and in the US we go and get coffee between cases, or a water and a granola bar or whatever.
Like normal stuff.
they were taking shots, and I was like, oh, I was like, you guys drink alcohol? And they're like, oh, this isn't alcohol. Like, it was like the dumbest question. It's, beer is alcohol,
Vodka is water.
Vodka, yeah, it's over there. It's just something else. It's like coffee shot here, I guess. But yeah, it was very interesting. But yeah, so my background, in other words, is not that. It's definitely not in art. It was the art of surgery for me for most of my career.
Well, I mean, skilled hands, so
that is true.
Yeah, and it's funny because if I look back at this past year, like a year ago now, I was not doing this. I actually was I was in practice for almost 25 years and was involved in a startup company about 4 or 5 years ago where it was a deformity correction. We would take CT scans of people's deformities, make a 3D model, do surgery on the model virtually before we even touch the patient, and then 3D print a guide that would snap to the patient. And that way, any surgeon that was using it would have the same exact outcome. And we were the first company to get FDA approved for that. And so that was my big passion. And then we were on the market for like 9 months, and it got bought pretty quickly, which was awesome. But I didn't realize between full-time practice, full-time dad, and then doing the startup, which was basically I would leave my practice at like 5:30, 6 o'clock at night, get home and start on meetings, all the way till 11, 12 o'clock at night, wake up at 5 the next morning to get caught up on all my charting. And then weekends were the same thing. And for about 2 years, I was just completely burnt out. Like it really, I didn't realize how much it did to me. And then about a year ago, I just made the decision that, the last 3 years, I've really not, even though I've always been at my kids' every event, I can't say I was always present. Like I was there, but I wasn't, my mind was elsewhere. And my kids at the time were 10 and 13. And I just said, I want to get this right. And I don't have a lot of time because statistically 80% of the time you spend with your kids is before they turn 18. So I made the decision to step back from clinical practice and catch my breath and be a dad and pick kids up, drop kids off, do stuff with the wife during the day. And I don't know if I'm going to go back to practice yet. And art actually didn't come on until a little bit later when I was like, I need a stress reliever. Like I need something to take my mind off of a lot of the stuff I've been through for a while. And so that's kind of how art started. But I have to say that it really came from the addiction that we all have here. And that's just somehow getting into Star Wars and getting addicted to collecting cards. So, and yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. I was going to say, what's your what would you say is your favorite character to draw? Usually something we kind of ask every artist, like who you like to draw the best.
Well, let me start with how I even got into cards, because I first, my brother-in-law was into Star Wars also, and I was into the movies, and he's like, have you seen any of the Disney stuff? I'm like, no. He's like, you got to watch it. And I was like, the cartoons? And he's like, yeah. He's like, trust me, the best writing in Star Wars is in the animation.
Okay.
So during COVID, I made a commitment to go through Clone Wars and Rebels, and I was like, oh my God, I'm totally in. Yeah. And then I started searching because I loved the art. That's what I loved about the animation. I'm like, this art is amazing. So I started searching. I came across comic books and, ordered my first comic book, and then my second, and then my 200th, and then my, it got a little out of hand. And comic books take up a lot of space. And I was training a fellow, and he's like, hey, do you know they have Star Wars cards? I'm like, they do? Topps cards? I had no idea. So then next thing you know, I'm on Whatnot, and I get into a celebration break, which was how I got addicted to Star Wars cards.
Pretty cards.
And then I ordered 2 or 3 boxes from Dave and Adams, and I landed this.
Oh.
So it's not this one. This is the out of 5. It's this one. The Jason Davies.
That's
one of one card.
Yeah.
So then I was like, there is art in Star Wars, and it started with the Celebration set, and then I just got addicted. And then, like, if a number card came out, I was excited. If an auto came out, excited. But if a really cool sketch came out, I was like, oh yeah, like this is amazing. And then I want to say last October, I do a medical mission to Peru every year. Actually, I can't go because of my back because this came out of nowhere. But I usually go every October. And last October, we had the hurricanes in, I'm in St. Pete. So about 70% of the houses around me got destroyed.
Yeah.
We were pretty lucky. But Toys did a kind of art show to raise money for the hurricane. And he put, a couple notes out, say, hey, artists, if you want to draw some cards, we'll donate them, have blank sketch cards I can send you. So I said, hey, send me some cards. I don't know what I can do, but maybe I'll try to draw some and get them back to you. And it turns out because I was in Peru, I wasn't able to draw for that set. But then we had the fire, and he did the fire relief show. So I asked if he'd send me some more blank cards, and he did. And then that was the first time I ever drew on a Star Wars card. And I actually really enjoyed it. And then started drawing a lot after that.
That's one thing definitely like about Toys that like I really respect about the guy. He always like steps up like when like big natural disasters hit. He does like huge charity shows to try to raise money for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like definitely respect the man for what he does for like things when people need help.
He's a unique individual because he's, a hardcore collector and pretty competitive for the characters that he likes and wants. And it's awesome. But he also has a huge heart for the community and just goes out of his way to help people. Like the artists, like he bent over backwards to help the artists out with the trade night. Really just wanted it to be a special night for the people trading, but also for artists to show their stuff. And I think all of the artists commented like this was the first time they've all been in the same room. And this was just this year. Wait until next year when you have 25. And it's like, I feel like I'm, the weak link there. I mean, there's some like huge names and it's really exciting. So if anybody is interested, definitely mark your calendars for nationals next year. It's back in Chicago. And I think there's going to be a lot of shenanigans with the artists. I think Toys was talking about maybe trying to do like a preview art show the day before so people can kind of see what the artists are going to be showing. So it's pretty cool.
Fun. He was a busy man that night. He was all over the place, like just trying to run that show pretty much like. And it was a blast. Like they had all of these different things like going on. All the artists were so cool. Like I talked to all you guys. It was awesome. Like to talk to everybody. The art you guys all brought was insane. Like your stuff too. I loved your freaking like the Boba Fett. I actually made that on the thumbnail for the episode. The Boba Fett with the stained glass. That was really like that.
That was something I started to kind of play with, because I'm like, all these artists have like particular styles. I'm like, I don't even know what my style is. And I can't even tell you what my media is because literally every card I use like 5 or 6 different things. And even the cards I'm doing, the cards I'm doing now for this set that's coming out, I think it's the end of this year or early next year. I don't even recognize my style because it's like different than what I was doing before. So it's evolving. And a lot of it is just asking lots of questions to the guys that have been doing this forever and the fact that they're so gracious to answer. And, I have so many materials now, different types of pens and markers, and I have oil paint, gouache paint. There's just so many things that I haven't even started to use yet, but I'm going to have a lot of fun learning.
Yeah, my wife's just started doing like sketch cards, kind of like a hobby for her. And the artist community has been so nice to her. Like a few of my like friends that are artists have like commented on her work and like giving her some advice, giving her some pointers on like things she could try and stuff like that. And it's helped her out a ton on her cards. And the artist community is fantastic. Yeah,
it's great. And all you have to do is ask questions. And that, I went to Japan. That was like, that I was taking kind of a year sabbatical. I was like, and the other things, my brother moved to Thailand. So he's been asking me to come visit him. And I was like, well, Thailand, you got to go to Japan. Star Wars is going to be in Japan. So I think I should lay over in Japan right around the time that they have Star Wars Celebration. So I went out there and, I hadn't applied the tops. I didn't even think I didn't know if I was even good enough for that. But I made a bunch of sketch cards, and actually, just like a trade night, I don't know if you saw, I had a bunch printed out, and I was just handing them out for free. And that was kind of the swag thing I was giving away at Celebration, because everybody wants to give each other stuff. So I was giving out these art cards that I had done. And I happened to meet Tracy Easterday, Stefan Leonardi, who's also going to be at Trade Night next year, and then Don Murphy. And I had drawn, like, while I was on the trains in Japan, I was drawing cards because I was just practicing. And I gave them each a sketch card. And Don was like, hey, are you a tops artist? I'm like, no, I don't think I'm that good. And she's like, no, you should apply. So that's when I got home, I was like, yeah, well, why not? I'll just apply. I'll see what happens. And then I got accepted. So it was a big surprise. But yeah, now it's like, it's funny, and I actually commented on this to the other artists on this Facebook group. When I did my very first top sketch card a couple weeks ago, I was almost as nervous when the pen touched the paper as I was the first surgery I ever did. Like, it was just so nerve-wracking, because it's like, there's a lot of expectations. We've all been in streams where somebody's like, "Ooh, there's a sketch card," and they flip it over, and it's just not exactly what you were hoping you would get, and you can almost hear the disappointment. And some people, they don't realize that, the artists sometimes come into these streams.
Yeah, somebody out there did this.
Yeah, they could say some pretty funny things sometimes, and I, even if it's not the style of art that I collect or appreciate. I appreciate all art. It might not be something that's going to go into my PC, but it's my father-in-law always, when I got married, I remember him telling me, he was a car salesman, and the saying is, there's an ass for every seat. And the truth is when it comes to art, art's in the eye of the beholder, and just because you don't like somebody's art doesn't mean somebody else might not like it. So I don't criticize other people's art, but I was just more worried, when I was first doing my very first card, like, I wonder when this comes out of a pack, what the reactions in the whatnot or the chat is going to be like. Is it going to be like, oh man, who is this guy? Or is it going to be like, oh crap, like, that's what I got? So you just never know. But hopefully every piece I've done, I would say that from an art viewpoint, like, I've been pretty happy with. I haven't had any that I'm like, oh, I'm not too proud of this one. Like, every single one I can also look at and say, I wish I could do better. But I'm also looking at these legends, when we're on Facebook, we show each other our work sometimes, and I'm just looking at what they're doing, like, oh my God, they're like miles ahead. But I really shouldn't compare myself to them, because I'm a different type of artist than they are. They've been doing it for their whole life, and I'm new.
And I'll agree with you too. Dawn is a really dope person. We're actually going to have her on next month. She's going to be on.
She's awesome.
She when I was talking to her, I mentioned I had a kiddo, and that she's a big Padme and Leia fan. And she like oh, well, here. And she just gives me these like Padme prints that she made in like Celebration. She's like, here, give this to your kid. They're up on frames on my kid's wall now. She loves those things. Every one of like Padme's outfits from episodes 1 and 2 on like minimalistic art. It's so cool.
I saw that. She was giving those out. Dawn is awesome, and she's become a very good friend of mine. And I think out of all the artists, that's who I've picked her brain the most, and she's been just amazing. She's going through a kind of tough time because she just lost her sister pretty recently. So she was coming back to work on the same set I'm working on now, right as I was coming back. Because at Trade Night, that was the start of my trip. And that was, so my goal was to have 50 pieces to bring. And so I brought 50 pieces with me. So it was a lot of work to get that done. And then the very next week I went to Nashville and I lectured at a conference there. So I put on my professional hat for my other profession. And then the week after that, I'm part of a new startup. It's called OrthoPop AI. And basically what it is it's an app that goes on your phone and it takes you from an unknown to known condition. So if you sprain your ankle and you're like, what the hell would I just do? Like, it's really hurting. You could use the app and it'll help basically you narrow down what your diagnosis is and gives you advice on what you should do before you go to an urgent care. So and it uses AI. So I was in Vegas for that. And then I came home on the red eye and it was the most uncomfortable flight. Like my back was just killing me because I just gotten through 3 weeks of travel, got home, took a nap, got up, took about 4 steps and my left leg gave out on me. And then just developed just the worst pain I've ever had in my life in my left hip. And then ended up in ER that night. And then within a week and a half had back surgery. So here I am. Ooh. So it's been an interesting few weeks. And in the meantime, I've been trying to draw for this new set, which is, but it's like I said, it's good therapy. So I just have to change position a lot.
Yeah, it's been interesting since like my wife started doing this, that I get to see the whole like lifespan of a sketch card. Like you just kind of see from the beginning like, how long it really takes for like start to end, like to plan it out and like decide like, oh, this is what I'm going to do with it. This is the colors I'm going to use. Like I was like, oh, it's not just you're just going to sit down and I'm just going to draw something. Like,
what is she using? Is she just doing like colored pencils or markers or?
Right now she's been using paint pens. Actually, I got one right here.
Like Posca or?
She's actually got that's one of hers.
Ooh,
right
look
there.
At that. Oh, she's really good.
Yeah, she's been doing like lightsabers. Actually, Raph, yours is on the way. She did Shin Hati's lightsaber for him.
I'm trying to send that to one of my boys to get it signed by Ivana at SpaceCon.
So does she have a favorite character? Or who does she follow?
Right now, she's mostly been into Anakin because that was kind of the first one she went for was his. But yeah, she got one she prefers. Oh,
I don't know if you saw that one.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite ones too. Anakin.
Yeah, this was the anime. So I was playing around with that style, and like this is kind of like an anime Hera.
That's cool too. I like the print on the.
Yeah, these are the 5x7s. There's a Vader.
I'd say and then Corey Vader almost. I like that.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. And then this was watercolor, which I'm finding watercolor is really hard to do on.
That looks good on that one.
Topps cardstock, and I'm a Rebels guy, so a lot of
I like that.
But this actually, it's funny because this is probably technically not the most advanced.
If you haven't seen that book, I was going to mention it earlier, the Art of series that they do for all the like movies.
No, I got to check that out.
Oh my god, bro! They break down like the design and everything. It's amazing. Like,
yeah, no, I gotta look that up.
Look those up.
This is like there were 2 cards that I've done that I would say are my favorite, even though they're technically not the most advanced. But I love this one because I just the scene was
that's crazy.
Because the art that I do, like I want it to kind of capture a moment. I don't want it to just be a face
like
or
it's and
iconic.
Yeah, and then
more iconic that way.
And of course, I have Chopper right here, but
War Crimes,
favorite war criminal.
Exactly. But yeah, that and then, but for me, it's like looking at other artist styles. Like this is Carlos Caballero. Like his stuff's amazing. So and then Lindsay Grayling, like I love her stuff.
Oh, Lindsay's awesome.
Yeah, she is great. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And then, Shyla Lee is like, I love Shyla's stuff.
The chibis.
Yeah, the chibis. And then, I don't know, have you guys heard of Tim Agar? Tim is fantastic. Tim Agar, Agar.
I've heard of him, yeah.
He is just, his pencil is, So I think he's actually coming into Topps. Like, I think he's going to be a Topps artist.
He needs to be there.
I don't know if you're familiar with Collectibles, but he features a lot of Tim Agar's stuff. Tim Agar's stuff, a lot of times you're looking at, you're like, wait, is that a photograph? Like it's amazing. And then I really got into Tomoko Tamaguchi.
Ooh, that's good.
So this was before they came out with the Mayo set. But
I was
it's
going to say
same style.
That would fit perfectly into that set.
Yeah. And then the other one, so it's interesting. About maybe 15 years ago, I did a pediatric cancer fundraiser, and we basically paired ballet students with kids who had cancer, and they did a performance, and each kid that came out said that they danced in memory of or for a kid that was fighting cancer. And then we also had artwork submitted, and we raffled off all the artwork, and we raised a lot of money. It was really great. And I kind of want to do the same thing with Star Wars cards. I want to create an art initiative for kids overseen by the artist and create our own children's Star Wars art set. So that's something that I've had in mind for a while, and I'm going to be trying to get that organized with toys at some point. But one of my patients, her son was a Lucasfilm artist, Joe Coronary. And so he donated some posters that he signed. And then once I got into Star Wars card collecting, I just happened to come across this card, which he drew. And it's black and white, but it's probably the nastiest mall black and whites I've ever seen.
Black and white mall.
Yeah, but it's an old style card. But anyhow, those are some of the cards that I look at, and I'm like, I want to try to get as good as they are. I don't know that I'll ever get there, but I'll just keep working on the style. And I think probably my strong suit is going to be more on the animated characters for now, and then eventually, once my skills get good enough, I'll start to do more live action characters.
I'll tell you right now, just some of the cards you've shown me now, like there's a few I haven't even seen yet. You fit in just fine.
Yeah, as somebody who's just started getting back into drawing after like middle school,
Alan.
Yeah, you're there.
You're doing great.
I still can't even get circles right.
It's funny because a lot of people were saying, I don't know if you can see the stained glass on there.
Yeah,
they really like that stained glass effect. And so when I got invited to my first set, they have a place where you can write them and say, hey, do you have any questions? So I said, hey, I've had some people really like the stained glass effect. Am I allowed to do this on a Topps card? And the answer was no. So anybody that wants a stained glass card, I can do it for them. It would just have to be a PSC. And I get it that, from Topps viewpoint, every card that we submit to them, they turn around and submit to Lucasfilm. And Lucasfilm is deciding whether or not they're going to allow the card to be in the set based on likeness of the character. And I think that you guys have probably seen, and I've noticed it, a huge step up in the quality of sketches coming out in the last two sets. And I think that they're just getting a lot more stringent with what they accept and what they're not accepting. So
I know there's a lot of special rules, like Ryan Finley was saying, like you can't have like the weapons pointing directly at like the person.
They have to be off to the side.
Yeah.
I was in the stream last night.
Touch. Like
Clea was. I was like Clea, like that shocked me. Cara Dune, I figured because she has a spat with Disney, or at least I think that's being settled. And then like the people are upset because Skeleton Crew came out in the Chrome set, but there's no sketches. But if you think about it, when they were prepping that set, those art cards went out, and Skeleton Crew was still releasing episodes because we get the cards. I've heard horror stories though. Like I heard some artists say that they got cards and they had like 2 weeks to turn around 100 cards. So now you kind of understand why some of the cards look the way they do, because literally like they get them. But so far, my experience, because I'm new, is that the two sets, my first two sets I'm working on, I have a really, really good amount of time to work on each one. So the set I'm working on now,
they figured out a good rotation with the artists at this point, because I've noticed it seems like they have some artists working on something and then some artists working on another, And I think back in the day, they just had everybody on one thing and then everybody on the next thing. And then
yep.
I think now they figured out something to pace everybody out pretty well.
Yeah, like the Galactic Antiquities, there was just a handful of artists that they invited to that. Mayo was the same way. I think they kind of sought after the artists that they felt would be more manga style.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think all the artists have learned not to get offended if they don't get invited to a set, or if the other thing that happens is, I'm spending right now, I'd say an average of 2.5 to 3 hours per card. Most artists, I think, can crank out a card in less than an hour. But it takes me a little bit longer because I'm a perfectionist and I'm also new. So, I'm learning as I go. But
it's about 4 hours for my wife. So
yeah. I mean, there's some of my cards, like the more intricate ones with, really intricate backgrounds. Some of them I've put up to like 6 or 7 hours into a card. But there's a possibility that I submit these, they don't, I'm sure you heard about the pay is it's really not much.
No.
And then the other thing that happens is they could just say, no, we're not going to take it. And then they destroy the card. That's the heartbreaking part is, you put all this time and effort into doing the card, and, maybe there's something about the card or the character that they didn't like and they can reject it. And then ultimately your rejection rate is what determines what level, card you get, in the future. So.
Yeah, I remember Ryan was telling us too that there was like a really weird one. Like it was like his favorite rule is they keep switching back and forth their stance on whether or not Anakin is allowed to have yellow eyes or not. Constantly they keep switching on that.
Yeah, it's like these things that you just wouldn't really expect. The last set of rules were pretty interesting, and it makes me realize as I'm sitting here watching these streams and people opening up cards, and of course I bought into a lot of the streams hoping to get some art cards too. But I've been really watching how the styles of the sketches, and I would say that Chrome has done, in general, most of the Chrome cards have been really, really good sketches. Mm-hmm. I think that last year's Chrome, we started to see like a lot of the same artist or two. And it just seemed like the variety wasn't as good. But this year, it seems like they've really done a good job mixing it up.
This year's sets have been really good. Like even sets that I don't think the cards themselves were that good. The sketches.
Hyperspace.
Hyperspace is a great example. I did not care for Hyperspace, but man, the sketch cards that came out of Hyperspace were just another level. There were just some that were some of the best sketch cards I've ever seen.
What's funny is I was saying with you, I didn't love Hyperspace, but I will say like the auto on that gold Stardust was pretty cool. Like the mall auto, and the gold Stardust. Yeah. So, but in general, like there's a lot of sets where it's like Galaxy last year, there were like 3 or 4 cards that I didn't care for, but I didn't dislike them either. But literally like, they had 100 base cards and 97 of them, if I got anything that was like numbered, I was like genuinely excited about because they were just all, the artwork is amazing.
Galaxy's always win. Yeah.
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 It is, but I would say that the style of the Galaxy the year before, because I was the year that I was kind of coming into collecting cards. Mm-hmm. So the 20, so that would have been 23.
Yep.
23, that was a set where I could take 10 cards that I really liked, and the rest of them I was like, these are okay. I
think a lot of people felt that way too about 20.
Yeah, the year before 22 there were so many great cards in 22.
22 was great. Yes, there's a lot of good ones out of 20. The refractors in 22 were amazing. Like there were so many just good cards in 22.
Yeah, and then 21 was amazing too. So, and then there's this older guy that lives probably like 20 minutes away from me, and he has a garage that's floor to ceiling cards, and he just gets a hold of sets. He just tries to get base cards and then he sorts them, and then he creates sets. So I went and I bought Galaxy 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 from him. So as I was putting them into a binder, I was like, some of his artwork is just phenomenal. and some of it's kind of silly, but in general, I can't wait to see what this next year's Galaxy is going to be like, because they really, I think that they took a step up with Chrome on this from last year to this year. So it'll be interesting if they take that same step forward with Galaxy.
Yeah, I am very excited about this year's set of Galaxy. Just like, I don't know if it's just the hype in me or what, but it's just Chrome. Like, I felt like they did a really fantastic job on Chrome 25. Like, I feel like it was there's nothing wrong with Chrome 24, but it was a huge leap, I think, from Chrome 24. Like the baseball look of like the cards and stuff, like the sports cards look. It went to more of something that you could say this is a Star Wars card, and I think that was kind of a nice edge for the Galaxy 25. But yeah, the sketches in 25 that I've seen so far, I haven't seen a bad one. Like
I love the double visions. I love all the galactic and the Kyberlights, the galactic graffiti and Kyberlights. But I guess that's maybe I like those because those are more Galaxy-like. That, you know, where Chrome is just more like a portrait of a person. It's not an action scene. Where Galaxy is more capturing moments. You know, Anakin turning to the dark side or whatever. You know that. So yeah, I think that's probably why. And it's funny because you talk to different people, and some people are more Chrome people, some people are more Galaxy people. Antiquities about broke all of us. You know.
I only watch those. Those are just ones I'm like, I'll just see what you get in your box. I can't drop like over $1,000 on a box of cards.
Yeah, it's if you were into. So for me, it was a bad. It was good and bad because I just wanted those large art cards so bad.
Those were great. I will say that was a great ad for anything, was those big freaking art cards.
I didn't really care so much for the autos in there. I just wanted the art cards because but that's just me. I'm more, like I said, my collection is more based on the art.
I agree with you. So. I think that was the showpiece of those Galactic Antiquity sets was those big like art pieces. Like those were really cool. I mean, it kind of almost subsidized part of that like price, because really, if you did price it out, like that big of an art piece, like by a really quality artist, I mean, that's gonna cost you a few $100. Like, so, I
mean, if you think about like Jason Davies, you know, his cards on eBay, they're usually maybe $500-600. So there's four cards can fit in a 5x7. So Jason Davies 5x7, you can imagine, is going to be pretty expensive, and that's kind of how it panned out. In fact, I almost feel like Galactic Antiquities reset the sketch market, because before that, sketches were actually going down. There was a lot of repetition, and styles were looking very similar, and a lot of the big names weren't drawing as many cards. And they definitely, Topps has done a good job kind of getting some of the big names. I mean, even Angel and Chris Penix had way more cards in Chrome than they've had in any set recently, which makes it fun and exciting, you know? Because on any given night, like while we're doing this, there's people opening up cards and probably hitting, you know, Josh Trouts and Penixes, which is awesome.
And I mean, and the whole bigger is better concept, Trout's a great example. I mean, you were there on trade night. You saw how like that Obi-Wan, like Trout, like portrait, like full size, what was that, $5,000? I think it went for. Like, it was beautiful. Like Allen Guinness, Obi-Wan pencil sketch, like full portrait, and it was gorgeous.
And then he had a little Darth Vader that also went for $5,100, and it's like my wife was,
and he did that little Maul too, didn't he? That little Maul action figure recreation. That was really cool. I like that.
Trout. Yeah. So Angel's Vader was the one that went for 51. I think the Maul went for like 32 or 3,400, which kind of surprised me, because I'm like, I thought they're both like phenomenal. They're just different styles.
And Angel's Vader, what I loved about it was you kind of saw that style again in Chrome 25 when his Chimere sketch came out, because the coolest thing about that Vader was you could like, because he's like, here, take the card and like look as close as you can at it. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like the closer you got, you saw all these other details. Like, how is all this stuff in this sketch? And you just, the closer you got to it, you see all these things. And that Chimere sketch is the same thing.
I asked him, because I was like, you know, you draw so small and so detailed. Do you use like a magnifying glass? Because I know some artists do that. And I actually, on eBay, I bought, or on Amazon, it's like a glass that lights up the table. And if I want to see detail, I can look through the top and it will give me 10 times magnification. I actually haven't used it to draw through. It's just a fantastic light. But I just figured Angel was drawing through some sort of, you know, because if you zoom in, like every little red dot is in the perfect place. And he said no, but he puts his face like literally, he's like, I'm very like, you know, nearsighted. He's like, but when I draw, he's like, my face is like on the paper. Like he gets his face way down. And you know, I'm trying to picture how this looked like. And then I don't know if you guys saw his stream with toys last week. His birthday. It was his birthday, 50th birthday.
That Spider-Man was
and he goes live and draws Spider-Man. And you know, and the whole time he's talking, and if you notice, like his head kept getting in the way of the camera. And I'm like, that's the technique, like, because he literally puts his face like right down to the piece of paper. But yeah, he's got another sketch coming up that he's going to do. I think it was like the 24th or 28th. So he's going to do another, you know, sketch with the toys again, which is really cool. Even if you don't collect art and you appreciate it, just watching a master like that, it would literally be like us all pulling up a chair and watching Picasso paint, you know, a canvas. So just and he raffles off one free every time he does this. So which is like I said, you know, those are worth a lot of money. So
yeah, he, like, honestly, I've never seen that effect done where it was just you walk by it and you're like, oh, that's a pretty cool like Vader, and you think as you walk by like it's kind of minimalist, and then you get closer and closer and you're like, like there's that little piece, and then you just keep getting closer. It just the closer you get, you find all these tiny details. If you want to really appreciate Angel, go on his Facebook or Instagram and find the video, because he recorded himself drawing Kobe Bryant. And when I saw the Kobe Bryant finished product, I was like, wait, is that the reference photo or is that the actual picture that he drew? And it was the picture that I drew. But he actually has a video where he's like, you know, the sleeves on the jersey and you have the stitching.
Yep.
He's just doing stitch by stitch, like all the way down. And it's so tedious and you don't feel like it's getting anywhere. And then when he zooms back out, you're like, holy crap. Like the stitching that he was doing was like just the stitching around the number on the jersey or on the sleeve. Yeah, he's amazing. So
it's essentially like he's editing by pixel on sketches. Like it's almost like he's doing.
100%. Yeah. Hey, tell your wife if she's interested. Like my goal is to do is at some point own a piece of art from all the artists at Trade Night, which is a tall task because some of them are ungodly expensive, but a lot of them are pretty
Angel's
cool
a good
about
example.
Yeah. But a lot of them are pretty cool about, you know, saying, hey, you know, if you want to do a trade, you know, we'll trade artwork. So your wife, I'd be more than happy to draw something for her if she's wanting to draw for me. And it's fun for me to practice, and I would just do whatever character she wants. So
I let her know she'd absolutely love to do that, I think. So I'll let her know.
It's a good way to practice, and at least you're getting something in return. You know,
I'd offer mine, but it would probably look like a child drew it. So
that's okay. Yeah.
He'd be like, "This is not worth what I sent him."
No, it's like I said, art is in the eye of the beholder. So, anyhow, hey, do you guys mind if I do a very quick side plug?
Yeah.
So there's so one of my really good friends, we cycled together. His twin brother has special needs, and anyhow, Anthony, who's my friend, and his brother Chris. Anthony is a huge Star Wars fan, and his brother Chris is a huge Star Wars fan. And so when they were, I think they're 54, 55, but when they were growing up, his father's way of connecting with his brother was to take him places. So they'd go to Comic Cons, and he went to all the original Star Wars events. And like he's got a poster that literally is signed by every original character, including George Lucas, hanging above his bed. Like it's insane. So I went to visit him. He's like, you got to see my brother's storage locker. So his brother has been buying like stuff like for over 50 years. And it's a floor to ceiling storage locker. And he's got, the sideshow dolls.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I didn't even know what that was when I went there, and he opened up a bin and there's like these, 5 boxes of sideshow dolls, never taken out of the wrapping. They're just in this like bin. There's 280 bins in this shed. And I'm looking at these, I'm like, these are incredible. He's been collecting them since Sideshow started doing them. He's got 286 Sideshow figures. He's got the big figures. He's got original figures in their original pack. I mean, it's insane. Well, anyhow, so that's his connection. That was his connection with his father. Yeah. So my and it's funny because my friend Anthony's like, well, what do I do with all this stuff? I'm like, you could open a museum with everything you guys have in the storage locker. Like, I really think he should probably reach out to Lucas and see if there's anything that he has that he'd want to put at that new museum. But anyhow, so that just gives you a background on Chris. Well, the other thing is Chris has a therapist, and the therapist, once a week they get together, and the therapist is an artist. And so they go on, they actually have a live YouTube, and they create art pieces together. And the therapist is, her name is, I wrote it down. Oh crap. Hold on one second. I'll tell you here. You can see them paint on YouTube. Her name is Megan Jefferson. And so they've done over 300 art videos together. Well, a few years ago, I got an original piece from him, and I was going to show it to you guys. So they did 2 for me. So one is this.
Ooh.
And then he did a second one, which is that.
Dope.
So this is Chris. So Chris he's probably on the level of maybe like 4th or 5th grade, mentally and emotionally, but is very creative, loves art, loves Star Wars. So my friend Anthony, their father passed away this past year. And so Anthony, I guess his brother just said that his father was his protector, but now Megan, the artist, and his brother are his protectors. And they decided that they want to do a comic book together. So his brother is creating a comic book called The Protectors. And they're actually, so he's designing the characters in the comic book. It's kind of based off the real life people that have helped him out in his life. So they're trying to get funding and everything. And then they're actually doing a documentary called theprotectorsmovie.com. So you can find out it's actually on, so it's theprotectorsmovie.com. So I just want to encourage people that like art and like art for good, because they're finding ways that they can do some of this stuff and do it for good, just showing people how they can overcome mental deformity or setbacks or special needs and turn them into not really special needs, but just unique abilities. And so that's kind of what the Protectors is all about. So anyhow, I just wanted to kind of put that plug in there. And Chris he's insanely into Star Wars. So I think if you guys kind of follow that movie and you'll see a lot of the Star Wars stuff come out in him, and he geeks out over a lot of the stuff as well. So
you said protectorsmovie.com?
Yeah, it's called theprotectorsmovie.com. I don't know if you can see my screen. But yeah, they have a site on Instagram, and then they have a website. It's just theprotectorsmovie.com is their website. So yeah, just check them out, and maybe throw them a kind of encouragement along the way as somebody who's trying to go out there and inspire other people to not have disability but have special ability.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
There you guys go.
So no, I appreciate you letting me make that little plug, but it's also because he's insanely into art as well. So I figured that was a good plug.
Yeah. Anything, art's helpful. It's healing. So any other way that it can help people, it's great. So yeah, definitely check it out, protectorsmovie.com, guys. And as for your stuff, anything like, we know you have some awesome sets that you're working on or anything, but anything that you're able to talk about that you want to plug.
Well, as far as the actual sets, one, I'll just say that one is a set that we all know, love, and look forward to every year. The other set is one I've never heard of. So that you read between the lines that it's something that's going to be new and exciting. And being so new, I got to be really careful because I don't want to get in trouble.
We don't want to get lost from tops.
I will tell you that the collector in me, when I heard what they're doing with this top secret project, made me crazy excited, and it's going to be hard not to be purchasing into packs, even though I'm trying to use art as a form of therapy in a way to not swipe my finger on whatnot to buy teams. Which
it's hard not to.
No, because when I'm drawing, I want something to do and watch, and so anyhow, that's why I'm trying to tell my wife I'm still doing it. It's helping me, but no, anyhow, I think it's going to be super exciting, and I think that I think a lot of the artists were super excited about the trade night. And like I said, it's created almost like this instant communication between artists that just apparently 2 or 3 people would hook up at a trade show and they'd introduce each other. Maybe they'd go get dinner. But after trade night, everybody went out to dinner. I didn't get to because my family was there. But and then every day we're writing on this Facebook. It's like I said, it's like being part of the Dead Poet Society. We're already talking about getting an Airbnb that sleeps 30 people and having a little artist colony. But this is a win for the people who are collectors and fans, because it just makes the environment more fun, and we're all kind of supporting each other and supporting the love of Star Wars. And I think everybody's super approachable. If you have art that you want somebody to do, when I went to Japan, my goal was to get a auto from Cassian. Diego was signing, and so I was like, well, what card do I have him sign? And then I was like, maybe I should see if I can find somebody that can do an art card for me. So I reached out to Jay Manchand, and I was shocked. He wrote me back right away, and I'm like, hey, do you take commissions? And he's like, absolutely. And I was actually even shocked by his price. It was compared to what his cards sell for on eBay, it was crazy affordable, So he did a Diego Luna card for me, or Cassian card, and I had Diego sign it. And that kind of card to me is above any other autograph that you get out of a pack for me. I know some people, if it doesn't have the word Tops on it, they're not excited about it. The other cool card that I had done was Cisco Rivera. I did the same thing with him. The Skeleton Crew was coming to MegaCon last year, and that was going to be their very first con. And I got to show you guys this picture. It's hysterical. So Cisco does a Neo card for me, because I was like, oh yeah, all those kids are going to be there. So anyhow, he does Neo card, and I get in line to go get Neil's auto. And I walk up and I hand it to him, and he's gawking at this thing. And he shows, and his dad, I forgot, this is an actor, but his dad's behind him. And he shows his dad, and his dad's like, oh my God, that's amazing. So it was the first card that he'd ever seen of him as a Star Wars character, and is the first one that he ever signed.
Oh, that's cool.
So, heck yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's Neil right there.
That's a dope card.
Yeah. Cisco's amazing. And so, yeah, he signed, and it's funny because I've seen some of, actually, I just got one. I bought Neil a couple times in the breaks, and I got an autograph from him. And it's just that P with the squiggles in it. It doesn't look like much, but what's cool is on this card, let me see if I can zoom in so you can see it. He put the crazy P there, but then he wrote Neil next to it, which I think makes it even cooler.
Oh, that's
yeah.
great.
So anyhow, so that's the type of art stuff I love. You know, it's now not only an artist drew it because I asked him to. So when they sat down, they were thinking of, you know, kind of why I was asking him to draw it and what I was asking them to do. And Cisco did another one. He did an Ahsoka for me, a slave Ahsoka, which was really cool. And I had actually Eckstein sign it. But those are just they're not only like one-on-ones because of the art side, but then when you get somebody to sign it and you're seeing their reaction to the card, the actor's reaction to the card, that makes it more special than just a card that they blindly signed, or they signed a piece of sticker that then gets stuck on a card, but they never even saw the card or touched the card themselves. So that makes it more unique to me. So I love those sketchgraphs. To me, sketchgraphs are like the ultimate card.
My one day Star Wars Grail that I'm working on. I had Ryan Finley actually drew it for me. It was on a 2000. He just I was interviewing him and he just happened to tell me he had a 2000 like a blank 2015 Revenge of the Sith wide vision card just laying around.
Amazing.
I'm like, can you hold on to that for me?
Yeah.
He ended up drawing this insane Obi-Wan versus Anakin sketch for me.
Gosh.
And I told him like I was going to go to Chicago get it signed, but had some stuff like come up, so I didn't end up going. But I told him like one day I'm going to get it signed, and he's like, "Let me know their reaction." He's like, "I just want to know what they see, what they say when they see it." Like, because one day I'm going to get like Ewan and Hayden both to autograph it.
And that was going to Celebration. That was my first time meeting Hayden, and man, that guy, he's under like so much stress because like everywhere he goes, there's like these huge lines. But and you wait for
everywhere.
You wait forever, but when you get up to meet him, he just looks at you right in the eye. He very calmly is like, "Hey, how's it going? Are you enjoying your time here? Like, you know, any favorite things or any like?" He just literally like slows time down with each individual person, regardless of how crazy the queue is. And I just really appreciated that about him. And I noticed that like he was calling out people like, "Hey, I think I remember seeing you at, you know, Florida or something." Like he remembers people. And the other person that I thought was fantastic that way too, Tamora Morrison was amazing.
I can't wait to meet Tim. Oh, he's my favorite.
Man, he is a Star Wars nut. Like he loves Star Wars. Somebody had a motorcycle helmet decorated like Boba Fett's helmet, and they were so excited for him to sign it. But they were as excited for him to sign it as he was to sign it. Like he was like just so geeked out about this motorcycle helmet that looked like Boba Fett. It was so that. And then the other person that was really awesome was Sam Whitworth. Yep. I didn't know a lot about him.
Sam is awesome.
We're all big fans of Sam here.
Well, you're the only one, Kyber, that hasn't met him.
Yeah, I'm the one that hasn't got to meet him. Yeah.
Oh, he's a huge nerd, like in a good way. Like I think he studies Star Wars like backwards and forwards, and his depiction of Maul is just, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to top Ray Park, but there's just something about the animated Maul that to me, well, it filled in all the blanks, right? We didn't know a lot about him. And it's the same thing with Ahsoka. I mean, Rosario is an awesome actress, and I think she does a pretty good Ahsoka, but nobody's Ashley Eckstein. The Ahsoka that I love is Ashley Eckstein. OG. Yeah. So anyhow.
Yeah, and with Sam Whitworth, like I was a huge Force Unleashed fan, so Star Killer is my all-time favorite.
I wish
character.
I had my Star Killer auto here right now.
Oh, dude, that Star Killer auto.
So I got 2 by Sam, and I got 1 from one of my buddies at Rebel ScumCon. And I bought the one from Sam, and he sat there and was talking to me for a minute, and he signed half of the portrait in red, half the portrait in blue, and then Star Killer in one color and his name in another. He's like, "I just wanted you to have a little bit of the duality of the character." And I was like,
That's what's so
Like,
and he did that with
thank
every
you.
single person. Like he really connected, like
Yep.
what, you know, somebody brought up a lightsaber and he started telling them a backstory on the lightsaber, and then they said, oh, so and so is going to sign this, and he's like, oh, you make sure that they know that I would beat them anytime. Like it was just, he's totally into it, and it just makes it fun for us as fans. You know,
Yeah.
it's is anybody thinking about going out to LA?
I was
for,
thinking about.
Yeah.
We were talking about maybe
Yeah,
getting an
we all wanna go.
Airbnb and
Mhm.
like have a bunch of us in there. Not only just to be like not super right there, but like just so that we can all enjoy the time with each other too. Because I think I can attest for
Yeah.
both of them. Like the best part about this community is just being able to like connect with other people.
There's so much
Absolutely.
time where you're just like waiting, like lines that you're in.
Yeah.
So going with a group of people that you really like and want to, it makes it that's so it makes it not unfun, you know, because
Yeah.
usually just standing in line and waiting is just like, oh, this is horrible. But the fact that everybody around you, you can like literally like, who's your favorite character? Oh, you know, why you like that story? Like, if you had to pick, you know,
And
whatever.
see, the thing with
Speed up
with
the
the
wait.
celebrations for me is like, part of me wants to just do like 1 or 2 autos for celebs and stuff, but the other part of me is just like, rather than not waste money, but spend money and wait in lines the whole time, I'm just gonna go straight to like artists and collecting stuff, like for these big ones, because that's where that's what it's at for me, you know.
100%. So I spent almost, I got autographs because I was like, I went there wanting to get autographs, but literally I missed out on all the vendor booths. And then I went and hit the artist row, but I did not get to spend as much time there as I really wanted. So next time I'm not getting a single auto. And I also, like I said, it was really cool to meet them. So I don't want to take that away. In the mail and autos, you don't get to meet the person, which, you know, isn't as good, but I think if I do the autos, I'll do them at something smaller, something big like that. Next time, it's just going to be about just being around people and going and seeing the artists.
That's the goal. It's like ICCC and Rebel Scum, like those are conventions where you can go and do everything because it's not massive. So like I can go get autos and I can go talk to I talked to Joe Caroni for
you did
40 minutes at that
awesome.
one. I was talking to Trisha Benson, like me and Swinner we're doing laps. We were doing laps every day, just talking to everybody, talking to vendors, talking to.
I heard that was fantastic.
You know, so yeah,
actually, not this weekend, but next weekend they have something called Ocalicon, and it's insane.
I have a panel there.
I can point right. Yeah, that guy down there.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
He's got a panel.
Dude, they have like the whole Rebel crew other than Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
You know, and Katie Sackhoff's going to be there. I was like, man,
it's going to be like my 4th time meeting Katie this year. Yeah. She's going to probably be like, yo, are you just following me?
Katie, it's so many things.
So when you have a panel, are you like interviewing them or?
No, I'm not like a guest or like a actual like speaker there. It's just a fan panel. Me and my buddy Clone Force 97 are going. And
awesome.
Because we have completely polar opposite views on Star Wars, especially whenever it comes to like the Disney era stuff, but we're still good friends and we don't resort to calling each other like fake friend or fake fans or, you know, the other tag words that everybody likes to throw around nowadays.
So okay, I have a question for you guys, and every now and then I'll say this in chat, like if I'm in a stream and we're filling or everything's taking a while. If you were to, you remember when we were all kids, like we did time capsules. You know, you take some of your toys, you stick them in a time capsule, and then you dig them up like 20 years later.
I got like 6 of them out there somewhere.
Yeah, think about this. If you were to take a time capsule from our Star Wars, like what we as individuals think the Star Wars is, you could choose 5 characters to put in your capsule to represent all of Star Wars for someone who knows nothing about it in the future to get a gist of kind of what this whole thing is about. What 5 characters would you go with in your capsule?
Swooner, you should go first.
Yeah.
Trying to think. All right.
I mean, I know you've got 3 on the top of your head already.
Yeah, I already got 3 off rip. First one is going to be Darth Bane because he needs to.
Ooh.
completely, like, they need to bring him more into canon instead of just some weird Sith spirit visual thing that Yoda got during a Force meditation thing.
He's not pro Nightbane.
Yeah, I know. I hate Nightbane.
He was born in the darkness.
Next one.
Hello
is,
there, Mr.
like,
Yoda.
okay, so this is like characters to preserve, to like explain like Star Wars to everybody that have
Yeah,
never
it's
seen
just
it.
kind of
Okay.
what would be the 5 characters that you would use to explain Star Wars, or to at least get somebody to get the gist of like what that world was like?
Okay.
Or that
Second one
universe.
is going to be Return of the Jedi Luke, because
Mhm.
nothing anybody
probably most
or
iconic
anyone will ever say or do will make up for what they did to Luke in the sequels.
Puke Skywalker.
3 is going to have to be Han Solo from episode 4, because that's just the best version of Han aside from ESB. But 4, Anakin, just because he's my top favorite character of all time, and I mean, just his story is amazing. 5, probably Qui-Gon Jinn, because he is the epitome of what the Jedi need to have been, and what the course that they need to stay on. But of course, the good die young, and we don't get to get any more Jedi like that, because they're all bad guys now, guys.
That's pretty good.
How are you gonna?
So are we doing just what would be the most, like, to be able to say Star Wars in general, or just us personally, what we would pick?
I guess you can look at it 2 ways, because one would be just trying to give somebody a taste of Star Wars in general, like who are the most pivotal, important characters that would make you think Star Wars. Like, it could be, you could do it by male, female, you could do it by Jedi, Sith, you could do, you have Mandalorians, or helmeted figures, you have droids are obviously a big part of the Star Wars saga. Aliens are part of, so how do you pick the 5 ones to represent Star Wars essence?
So I would say Luke, Anakin, Yoda, Vader, and guys, we're forgetting the most important character to all of Star Wars, Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar. Well, you got your aliens covered with Jar Jar. Well, but Yoda is an alien with floppy ears too. So.
Raph, let's hear it. What's yours?
The Mandalorian cast.
No, so mine is in parts, right? So I would go Revan's got to be on there, and that's more of showing like both sides of the Force within one character, like the purest eternal light and the deepest darkest pits of hell. The second one I would put on there.
There you go.
Man, that's so hard. I think I'd probably put Nihilus or Maul for the Sith, just the side of pure hatred.
Or hunger.
Yeah, just pure hatred, hunger, that kind of stuff. I'd probably put
who would be your Star Wars female?
I honestly would. I'd probably put, and this isn't me saying like favorite characters. This is just to represent what Star Wars means. I'd put Leia up there, because she's the epitome of hope. She.
I'd say it's going to be Leia or Padme.
Yeah, it's got to be Leia, because she kept the ship going while all this shit was going wrong around her. Right, even from what we saw in the movie series, like she gets kidnapped and like. Then she actually learns that she embodies what her parents were, right? Mm-hmm. Good Lord. I think in terms of representing like Mandalorians, the creed, the honor, following your duty, I think Bo-Katan's got to be on there to represent Mandalore. Just because I don't think, as much as Django is a Mandalorian, I don't think you could put Boba on there. I really don't think he's a Mandalorian.
What about the armorer, though?
We don't know enough about her, in my opinion, but we've seen what Bo-Katan does to try to kind of rebuild Mandalore in a way. And then I was gonna say either Jar Jar Binks or you know, a Nemoidian on there just to show like the loving, funny side of Star Wars, like how out of pocket it can be.
So there's obviously no love of droids in this little pillbox we're putting in the ground.
We totally forgot droids.
The droid that I was going to put in
Star Wars and 3PO and R2, the fucking storyteller.
I know, Jesus, I completely forgot droids. No.
For me, it's I don't know. I feel like droids are just the glue of Star Wars in a way.
They are. Droids are so important.
How can you say pillbox or whatever that represents Star Wars and not put a droid in there?
Because
it has to be
they also represent what other characters represent, right? In a way.
Really, I mean, because honestly, to me, droids are always they're one of two types that they kind of have two archetypes. It seems like they're either storytellers, like they're characters that kind of keep the story moving forward, or they're kind of like the man's best friend character, like a dog, essentially. Like droids really kind of encapsulate dogs. Like there's so much where they just use droids.
I will say, if I had to pick one droid to represent Star Wars, I'd pick Master Huyang.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Master Huyang's trained literally every single Jedi
since the beginning.
I'm going with the droid from the Dawn of the Jedi book.
Iron Holmes.
No, if I had to pick a droid to represent
Star Wars, I like K2SO.
If I'm
a big fan of K2SO.
I'm going L3 from the Solo movie.
Oh gosh.
No, honestly, it'd probably be between R2 or Chopper, and I'm not sure which one I'd pick, to be honest with you.
It's hard to pick between those.
Okay, you're going into battle, and you're flying your X-wing. Who's flying with you, R2 or Chopper?
R2.
Chop.
R2's more seasoned battle vet, I feel like.
I'm sitting in the Tesla. Chop's just going to take them all out. I don't even got a pilot. Chop's going to be like, oh, there's enemies over there. Missile.
Yeah, we might have to argue with R2 to turn the autopilot off.
Make the tough decisions.
So
R2's got too much of a conscience.
So it's funny. It's for some reason on my Instagram, because I go on there and I check out like people's art and stuff. I keep on getting like this feed where it's like these slap fests, like it's like professional slap fests, like where they stand across and they take. Oh,
I've seen them. They're ridiculous.
It's crazy. Like like, oh, you're not gonna knock me out, and it's like slap, and then the person's like out on the floor, like sucking their thumb. Like, yeah. But I keep thinking like, what would it look like between R2 and Chopper in a slap fest? Who would win that?
It's hard, right? Because they
all have like a bunch of arms.
They're both so like have such strong personalities, and like where I feel like Chop takes liberties and cuts corners and like is his own droid and has this extra free will
and is very sarcastic.
R2's just so fucking crafty, and he just do some kind of like trick or something,
Well, see, I could just see it. Chopper's gonna like get his arms out and he's gonna start spinning his head and going towards R2. And R2's just gonna like look at the camera like he's fucking Jim from the Office, and he's just gonna zap the hell out of fucking Chopper,
like Palpatine, just
or he'll just like roll over and like accidentally pull a wire in just the right place, and it like trips Chopper off of a cliff, like just something weird like that. Like,
to be honest with you, though, I couldn't pick a droid because I'd have to pick Master Babu Frick, our Lord and Savior, who is the master of droids.
Oh, that's so funny.
He has a shrine up here.
Good old Babu.
Behind the Star Wars logo. He's holding the Boba Fett key to the kingdom.
Go, boom.
So when I was trying to figure this out, it was really hard because I'm like, I was literally like, okay, I want to have one female, I want to have one male. I love like the Anakin Vader, but they're kind of the same trajectory. So if you pick Vader, if you're picking Vader, you are in a sense, picking Anakin. Yeah. So I figure like Star Wars, at least because I grew up with the originals. I mean, Vader, it was just Vader. Like Vader was Star Wars for me. But that covers the Anakin card. Then I think of like, I mean, if you think about Clone Wars and that whole era, what we don't know is how big of a role Ahsoka's going to end up playing in all that. Because she was Jedi, but now she's not, and she's kind of in this, and she's been to the world between worlds, and so I don't know, we don't know her whole story yet, and the other character that's kind of interesting for that is Thrawn, because you had the original movies, and then before they came out with anything else, they had that whole Timothy Zahn series that he wrote, all about Thrawn being like, and it's like Thrawn was just huge, and so influential on the galaxy, before we got the current version of him. But it's really hard. So then so could she be your alien female kind of light side, dark side person? Possibly, but I just don't think we know enough about her full story yet. We've seen her beginning. She's middle age. She's not like a Yoda that's 700 years old, and we saw the end of their story. We saw Obi's story. Obi is the other interesting one, because I mean, he's the only one that's basically beat Maul, beat Vader. Like he's beaten everybody pretty much,
And he's lost so many people.
Yeah.
Like he held his.
If you want somebody who really has every reason to be upset,
he watched Padme die.
He killed Anakin. He was a protege of Qui-Gon. So he's
literally had his trainer, his brother, and his enemy all die in his arms, and his lover.
Right. No, you're right. Yeah. So he's kind of an interesting character that I don't, he's like so quiet. He doesn't get a lot of respect as being one of the best.
Right.
But who would you say, so along that line, who is the best or most powerful or influential Jedi? Is it Qui-Gon? Is it Obi?
I'm going Qui-Gon.
I'm going to say Qui-Gon's probably a good one. Because Qui-Gon really, I mean, he really had.
Without Qui-Gon, we wouldn't have that amazing meme of the council.
Yeah,
that's true.
Like he did kind of like misinterpret the entire word balance. I mean, he's like, oh, balance. Yeah. So us with thousands of Jedi on one side and the Sith with, we think right now, 0. We want balance.
Yeah. So kill all the Jedi.
We got balance.
0,
2 and 2.
Who's more powerful, Luke or Obi?
See, here's the thing, right? And I feel like there's different levels to it.
It depends which Luke.
Because there's power in terms of like saber wielding ability. There's powers in terms of force use ability. There's powers in terms of knowledge, right? So if you want to go knowledge, Yoda's the most powerful. If you want to go saber, I think Count Dooku's the most powerful.
But what's funny about Yoda is when I watch back on, Clone Wars, and it's almost like he was on such a high, put himself on such a high pedestal that he set himself up for failure. Like he couldn't see things right in front of him.
I think it's interesting to dissect that too, because it's like, did he become too arrogant, or was he managing too much that he couldn't focus on what was right in front of him? Right.
And it also could have been, I mean, a lot too with the whole clouding the dark side, kind of them using the dark side to kind of cloud what was going on so that they couldn't fully see what was happening right in front of them. Because
but I do think there is the arrogance to it, because when he's fighting Dooku and when he fights Palpatine, there's that arrogance that he brings into the fight, that he's like, oh, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna do that, and then he gets humbled. But it's also, we haven't seen so much of his peak to see whether it's just natural regression, right? Because I mean, at the time of that,
they get into it a little bit. in the comics. Like if you, there's a really good Yoda comic series they did. They kind of, it is within the High Republic era, but you kind of get a little bit more of like Yoda's like early days, and you kind of see where he's coming from. So way before he's kind of like, I'm the man, like still when he's kind of rising up. And they do a lot in that one that kind of shows Yoda in a different light that's good.
Yeah, it's super interesting. Like to even just think about just different character arcs. Like, who do you think has the most interesting character arc? You know, I mean, obviously Anakin goes from light to dark, back to light, or you know, who do you think? I like Kanan, but I'm also a Rebels fan. I like his character arc, but who has the most interesting? Asajj has definitely got a very interesting character arc, and we don't know her full story yet.
I think Obi is the best circle, like as far as like closed, like as far as somebody actually closing their arc, the best is probably gonna be Obi-Wan.
I would say his is the most fully developed. I think another one of the most interesting ones. Well, I've got two really interesting ones, right? Obviously, Darth Revan.
Yeah, you said Revan. Revan's. Yeah,
Revan's a good one. Yeah.
But I would make the argument, and I think we're going to see some of this here too with the next series. I'd say Maul, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and he's one to, because him and Asajj and Ahsoka all had been trained in the Force on their respective sides, and then all their paths intercross somewhere in the middle. Yep. And they're neither
and
good.
They go
well,
different directions.
Maul was always kind of on the bad side, but
I don't even want to say he's on the bad side as much as like he's
not even really Sith anymore.
He's really on his own side, which technically would make him be the bad guy because he's only looking out for himself. But he's at that one point in Clone Wars and Rebels, he's trying to keep Anakin from like becoming the destroyer of everything, right? He wants to.
No, you're right.
Save that.
He wants Anakin to come to Mandalore.
Yeah, and the other thing, he's definitely a very interesting character. I actually one of the best battles was with him, Savage, and the Emperor. That was
Oh yeah.
I'd hate to say it, but the only other like really
that's one of my favorite lightsaber battles of all time. Is that one there? Like that's probably. I mean, that's easily the best Emperor lightsaber battle we got.
100%. That was. But that's what was so disappointing about the Acolyte, because the Acolyte had some of the best live action lightsaber scenes. It was just a really crappy story.
It had that
scene. My God, that was one of the best stuff we ever got on a lightsaber.
It used the Matrix and Star Wars in a way that was like, and plus when they stabbed in Yord,
no, he didn't get stabbed.
Or not Yord,
Jackie.
Oh, it's like
you know,
and every time I see that scene, I literally hear the dude from Mortal Kombat just go, finish her. It's literally a freaking fatality move because it just cuts through.
Man, all I know is that the Jackie character and the actress had potential if they developed her to be an Ahsoka-like character because
everybody liked her, and they're like, "Why'd you kill her?"
But you know, I don't know. That's what was so disappointing about that series is there was enough. There was some really bad decisions in there, but there was enough good that you're like they could work with this. Like they could correct a lot of the course that they had. Were like, why did they do that? And then they had the characters like that tracker thing.
Oh yeah, the little squirrel dude.
Yeah,
Hazel or whatever his name is.
It's like, why? Like, what's the purpose of that? Like, what exactly is that doing for the series? So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's like somebody just like we need to think of something. Oh wait, we need a cute character too.
Yeah,
here's a squirrel.
Yeah, let's get a squirrel, otter, platypus, and put them all together.
I mean, that's the same argument that I make in defense of the Book of Boba Fett. Is like it had the potential to be a really good show, and they just kind of went. They're like, hey, we've got, a really good cameo in Thundercat as the modifier. Let's do a bike chase scene at 4 miles an hour. And you're like, why?
With neon Vespas.
Yeah. Like,
yeah. It's they made some odd choices, but I think in Ahsoka, it was interesting because it was exciting and nerve-wracking to see the first time they marched out Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka.
Right.
For me, it was very similar to when they did live action Hera, because like I love the original Hera character in the portrayal, and I felt like Elizabeth Winstead is fantastic as a actress as she is. Something happened with her live character that just fell a little flat compared to the original Hera. So, but I
think it's the same thing with Ahsoka. They just don't give her enough to do.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Ahsoka was
I think
badass with lightsabers, and they don't make live action Ahsoka just that same level of like she shouldn't be having a standstill with like Morgan Elsbeth so
she's kind of still got that badass lightsaber dueling ability within her in the Ahsoka show. I think they just made her way too stoic in a way.
She's too stoic, but
it's
but if you think about it, her character in general, I mean, like think of all the loss she suffered and all the pain and the disappointment of the person that trained her. You know, the Sky Guy. Like she finds out that he's her biggest enemy. You know, and and how crushing that scene was when she's like, I'm not going to kill you. And then he's like, you're going to die, you know? So you could see why she's just jaded in general. I thought the oddest.
You can make that same argument for Obi-Wan.
No, that's true. But he never went that route. Like he never got bitter. But to me, one of the worst, not the worst choices. I love Sabine. I just didn't know why they tried to make Sabine into a Jedi. Like I thought they should have just
And she made every wrong decision in that show, it seemed like. It sounds like she found every bad decision, but somehow she came out okay.
I think they want to kind of... The only thing I can think of is they're trying to throw you off of the trail of having... They want a Mandalorian Jedi, but they want to throw you off from knowing that it's Grogu.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I guess so.
Because Grogu is going to... They're going to make... If they do things how they should, they're going to make Grogu into Tar Vizsla.
Oh, that's going to be...
Because all Mandalorians now are like foundlings. So, I mean, any foundling would grow to be... He will be a Mandalorian one day. Like...
Well, and they kind of showed that, right? Because he had the choice between the Mandalore and then what was the Jedi relic that he had to choose between?
Yoda's lightsaber.
Yoda's lightsaber. So, and he chose Mandalore. So, I mean, that's what's cool is we can just say for now, these are the characters that we think have the best stories, but Ahsoka is still only like, you know, maybe a third or half a way through her character arc because we don't know where it's going to end.
And Grogu's like a 300th of a way through his character.
I was like, yeah, well, we'll probably never see the end of Grogu's.
We're gonna keep milking that poor fucker.
He's gonna take a jump into the future to make his happen.
Let me ask you guys this: do you think Darth Talon is going to come in this new series with Maul?
No,
I don't think so.
I think it's a misdirect. I really do. I think it's too obvious that they're showing like a red Twi'lek that it's just like they're trying to make you think that's who it is.
I think that we're gonna get a Darth Maul love interest in that Twi'lek, and it's not gonna be her.
Jensen. Yeah.
They've done that a lot where there's characters that are close to what we want, but they're just like adjacent to them.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Yeah.
So that
I think they have to show that kind of side of Maul as like still having somewhat of like a basic feel for human beings because he kind of in a way shows his vulnerability, but then snaps right back into like being a hateful, spiteful. You know.
Did you get a sense? Because I just saw that scene again where Obi duels him in the desert. And kills him.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Did you get a sense that
amazing scene.
He actually wanted to die by Obi-Wan?
Yes. I think
so.
The way that there's no other way that you can explain that because I think after you really see it after he gets like done, right? In a way, he's like relieved.
Yeah,
he's relieved. It's not like a I died. It's like finally, you know.
Well,
and the relief that he knows that there is a hope out there that
Vader will go down.
Like I love that moment where he puts him and Obi-Wan on the same plane. Like at the end, there is like we'll be avenged. Like it's not me versus you anymore. It's bringing it all back together.
I think he at that point in his life was like, every single thing that I have tried to do and tried to succeed at has crumbled and fallen in front of me, and he's now realizing it's like he can't even beat a fucking old man at his own game.
Yeah.
Okay, I got something for you guys. Ready?
Yeah.
Season 2 Ahsoka. In season 1, they gave us flashbacks when we saw young Ahsoka. If they do a flashback that brings Maul back, what actor should be Maul?
Sam.
Live action.
Sam.
I agree. Sam.
Me too.
Yeah.
Because
As much as I love Rey, I think here's what I think what I think they should do. Sam does the voice and stuff like that. I'd be okay if they have like a scene where he fights Ahsoka live, and they bring Rey in to do the choreography. And the fight.
But I want to see,
like a amalgamation of Maul.
I just want to see Sam's facial, because have you guys ever watched where they do the animation, but they show Sam in the studio voicing it? Have you ever seen his face?
He gets into it.
His face is tortured. Like
he becomes Maul.
Yeah, so I don't think you can,
even with early 2000s technology, like him in Force Unleashed, like when they did the actual like, there's parts you could tell like he's full on, eyes are out, mouth's wide, like just
I want to
big action.
Sam needs to be in live action Star Wars. That's
other than the dinghy driver.
Other than the dinghy driver.
And I landed my first dinghy driver auto yesterday, so I'm totally pumped.
Way to go.
Yeah.
That's a big one. People are loving the dinghy driver.
Yeah.
I think that is like secretly the big pull of Chrome 25.
I think you're right. I think it's that. And then,
it's the cheapest way to get a Sam auto.
Definitely.
It was like, oh, I can't afford a Star Killer or a Maul, but I get me a dinghy driver.
Exactly. Oh, awesome. Well, I'm probably going to have to sign off because my back is letting me know it's been a little long. But this has been
haven't
awesome.
gone this long in a long time, so but yeah, hey, is there anything like you have coming up that you want to promote or anything like
no, I haven't posted to Instagram in a while because now that I'm deep into the top sets, I'm not really doing PSCs, but I am going to take a couple week break, so I'll put out some new PSCs. For you guys, if there's anything you want to see, let me know, and I'll try to draw it and just put it out there. And PSCs are always available if anybody wants them. So, but even if you're just saying, hey, draw this, even if you have no intention of getting it, that's fine too. It would just be good practice for me. So you guys can throw me an Instagram and tell me who you want me to draw for you.
You'll be getting some messages from me.
Okay.
Yep, I'm gonna bother you.
I want to do it. God, yeah. I want to figure out how to do a slap fest between Chopper and R2. That'd be fun.
That honestly would kill me.
Oh my god. Yeah, like kind of like the battle bots or something.
And then C-3PO narrating and being like, "Oh God, oh good Lord."
The headset on. He's gonna be the battle bots announcer.
Well,
the two dudes from the
Phantom Menace.
From the Phantom Menace.
Oh yeah. The right head, left head.
And we're back.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'll have to think on that one.
And Raph, what do you got coming up, buddy?
Bro, I'm recovering from life right now, and I'm trying to figure things out, man. I was supposed to be at Ocala, but then I got COVID, and work is screwing me over. I might be able to go to SpaceCon, but other than that, I don't think I'm doing anything else the rest of this year.
I'm rooting for you.
Where are you located?
About you, nerd?
Virginia.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
we going on Swoonsky.
We were supposed to get through the 450 giveaway responses and shit, but we've been going for a while, and I really don't feel.
Oh my god,
doing it tonight, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
we'll go get it. We'll get it next time. God, I totally forgot, dude.
I'm probably just gonna go live tomorrow and do it because I'm fucking sick and tired of waiting to do shit.
I'll pop on with you, bro.
Yeah, I might be able to.
Well, Kyber has no choice. He
Yeah.
has to get on. He's throwing in a shirt for it, so
Yeah.
I'll throw a sticker in.
Yes.
Hey!
So I think I'm going to try to go to Colicon on that Sunday.
Hell yeah. I might be
You
there
should
on
check out their
Sunday.
panel.
My panel's Saturday. I bought the weekend pass because it was like $3 more than the Saturday pass. I was like, if I swing by Sunday, I swing by
Might
Sunday.
as well. You decide to.
I mean, my hotel's like 5 minutes down the road, so it's nothing.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to decide if I'm going to get anything signed. Like I thought maybe I can take some of these 5x7s and have some of the Ghost crew sign these things.
So,
which would be really cool.
What I was gonna do if I could have gone, I have a piece by Patrick Davis. It's a print of his that he did the whole Ghost crew. And I was gonna get everybody to sign it because I talked to Taylor Gray about it, but I'm not gonna make it. And I'm not mailing it down to Swinner because I don't want to deal with him bending it.
No, I just run over with my office chair.
Yeah.
And as for me, well, just to give you guys a heads up here, we're going to be taking a little bit of a break on the show for a little bit. Next show won't be until October 3rd when we have Tracy on.
Oh, awesome.
I'm going to be very, very busy. I said here a few weeks ago, I just took a new job. It's official now. I'll be working for a sports card company in Cincinnati doing sports card breaks for them and podcasts and traveling around the shows and so on and so forth. So I'm very, very busy getting ready for that. Carbonite Collectibles still will be a thing.
That's right. We'll see you guys over on the Broken Tusk podcast.
But yeah, guys, I appreciate you for coming on, Adam. It's been fun talking to you. I love talking Star Wars. We all love talking Star Wars, so it's a great time every time.
Yeah, and maybe a year from now I can come back on and we can see if my art got any better.
Yeah, or I mean, maybe even next year we can get you on here, get ready for National next year. So,
that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I will be there for sure again. So,
you guys should try to make it if you can. It really is an awesome time.
If I get a job that's worth something, then I'll eventually be able to get to all the conventions I want to. So
yeah. Well, this is it's been an honor and a lot of fun to be on. And this is, even though my back is talking to me right now, it's definitely been a very good distraction for me. So I appreciate you guys. You guys got me out of bed. Otherwise, I've been laying in bed a lot the last few days.
You absolutely get yourself some rest and get that back feeling better again, so that we can get you on again here later when you have some amazing stuff coming out for unnamed top sets.
Unnamed top sets, yeah. At the end of this year, beginning of next year, that's when my stuff will start coming in. So as long as they approve it, I mean, we'll see. Hopefully, I get through the approval process. Okay. But you guys have an awesome evening.
Yes, too, we appreciate it, and everybody that stopped by and on the show, watched the show tonight and participated in chat and everything. Thanks for coming on, guys. We'll see you guys here in a few weeks. May the force be with you guys. Take care. Have a good